Go to chapter 4, economics, specialization and division of labor. We'll talk about specialization. Specialization simply means we concentrate on one aspect of production. That is specialization. So individuals concentrating on one aspect of production, we can call that division of labor. Then firms concentrating on one aspect of production, countries concentrating on one aspect of production. That is specialization. So let's read anyway. Specialization. Specialization is the production of limited range of goods by an individual firm or country in cooperation with others so that together a complete range of goods is produced. Specialization can occur between nations. For instance, a country like Honduras produces bananas and trades those of cars for cars produced in the USA. So specialization allows interdependence. That is the point there. What do I say now? Specialization allows interdependence. So whatever you know how to do best, you do. Whatever I know how to do best, I do. So as a country,
Exchange.
we can exchange goods and services. That's making an example of Honduras. Honduras produces banana. Banana is not in USA. The USA can exchange. USA can rely on Honduras when it needs bananas, and Honduras can rely
Yes,
on
for cars.
for cars on USA for cars. So that is what specialization is about. So when you rely on each other, that is called interdependence. Do you understand the point I'm making here, please? Okay.
Yes.
So we go to globalization. It said globalization is currently increasing this process of specialization between nations. Specialization can occur within economies. So why is it possible for Honduras to rely on USA and USA relying on Honduras? It's because of globalization.
Mhm.
So what is globalization itself? Movement of people, movement of goods, movement of
Products.
capital, movement of the intellectual property. So people can go anywhere, everywhere. So with globalization, the world becomes a small place that everybody can see each other, like without any barrier. So there's no barrier anymore. That is what globalization is bringing. So because we can move freely, because we can transact freely, because we can share ideas, so it makes individual country to be able to relax and focus more on what it knows how to do. You get it?
Yes.
So specialization by individual is called division of labor. So division of labor is the breaking down of production process into different stages, and each stage has to be performed by different people. So that means there's specialization. That means division of labor would lead to specialization. And when we talk about division of labor, it can also simply mean specialization of individuals. So I do what I know how to do best, you do what you know how to do best, she does what she knows how to do best. That is individual specialization. It is called division of labor. I think you get the point?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, I think that's clear. So I just go to the next paragraph. They said these are normal. Okay, do I have to read? Let me see. Okay, let me just read. Specialization by individual is called division of labor. Adam Smith, in a passage in his famous books of An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of the Wealth of Nations in 1776, described the division of labor among pinned workers. He wrote, a workman not educated to this business could scarce make one pin in a day, and certainly could not make 20. But in the way in which this business is now carried on, it is divided into a number of branches. One man draws out the wire, another straightens it, a third cuts it, and the fourth points, a fifth grinds it at the top for receiving the head. To make the head requires two or three different distinct operations. To put it on is a peculiar business. To whitening the pins is another. It is even a trade by itself to put them into the paper. He pointed out that the worker might be able to make 20 pins in a day if he were to complete all the processes himself. But 10 workers together specializing in a variety of tasks could he estimated make 48,000 pins. This enormous increase in productivity output per unit of input employed arises from both increase in labor productivity and capital productivity. So what is according to Adam Smith, he felt that individuals, when given task to perform, they will do less than when they are given a task that is being splitted based on their specialty. So if the task is based on their specialty, they will do more than if they have to carry on different tasks at the same time. That is the point. about the story. I think it's clear.
Yes.
So that brings us to labor productivity and capital productivity. So here it said this enormous increase in productivity is based on labor and capital. And for labor productivity, we're talking about total output divided by number of workers. Total output divided by number of workers. That gives us labor productivity. And for capital productivity, it is total number of output divided by the capital employed. I think it's clear.
Can you repeat it?
Labor productivity, that's output by worker. So the total number of what is being produced. Oh, we produce 10,000 units. 100 workers produce 10,000 units.
Yeah.
So that means
100.
100 for each worker. Therefore, capital productivity, we're talking about output divided by capital employed. For capital employed, it is total assets minus current liabilities. That's how we get our capital employed. Is it clear now?
Mhm.
Specialization enables. So, what are the importance of specialization here? Let's say specialization enables workers to gain skills in a narrow range of tasks. These skills enable individuals, workers, to be far more productive than if they were responsible for a range of tasks. In the modern economy, a person could not possibly hope to be able to take on every job that society requires. With specialization, it means you have a specific skill. So these skills allows you to perform well, to do better, to be productive. Unlike when you have different tasks to carry on as responsibility, you won't do it well because you are in between different responsibilities. But when you are given a certain responsibility to carry on, which is what is peculiar of you, what you can do, then you will do it well. That is specialization there. So, and it also allows, when you continue to do the same thing every now and then, you get better in it and you become more skilled in it. So that is specialization. The division
Experience.
Experience comes with it too. And when you start doing what you know how to do best. The division of labor makes it cost effective to provide workers with specialist tools. For instance, it would not be profitable to provide every farm worker with a vehicle, but it is possible to provide a group of workers with a vehicle that they can share. With division of labor, it means we can easily provide or produce specialist tools, which means individuals will be able to use these tools instead of providing different tools for different individuals. It is cost effective because we can make a specialist tool that people would be able to adapt and understand how to use it than making different or giving individuals different machines at the same time. That is waste. Do you understand what it means?
Yes.
With division of labor, with specialization, we can provide specialist equipment that can be easily used by a group of people. The third advantage is that time is saved because a worker is not constantly changing tasks. Moving around from place to place and using different machinery and equipment takes time. So with specialization and division of labor, we save time. It means I don't have to move around different tasks. This is what I have to do and I continue to do it. It's not like as soon as I'm done with it, I have to go to the next place. I have to go to the next department. I won't be doing that. I will only focus on what I know how to do. So it saves time. So productivity should increase. And the last one, workers can specialize in those tasks to which they are best suited. So with specialization, it means you're going to give certain individual a responsibility, a task that he knows or she knows how to do best. And that will make him happy or her happy. Do you understand specialization
Yes.
there? Okay. So the division of labor has its limits. What are the problems about specialization? One, if jobs are divided up too much, the work can become tedious and monotonous. Workers do not feel connected to their work. This will result in poor quality of work and less output per person. Workers will do everything possible to avoid work. Going to the toilet, spending too long over breaks and reporting sick, for instance. The size of the market too will limit the division of labor. A shop owner in a village might want to specialize in selling health food. I'm going to read and explain it, okay? Health foods, but find that in order to survive, she has to sell other products as well. Over specialization also has its disadvantages. For example, so before we go to over specialization, so with specialization, it means you start giving individual tasks. The tasks they know how to do. But it becomes a problem when they continue to repeat the same task.
They won't learn other stuff.
They won't learn other stuff. They become rigid. They become attached to what they know how to do. And it could be, they could get to a stage that those jobs, they get tired of it and it becomes boring to them. And as soon as that happens, they become demotivated. And when they are demotivated, you wouldn't expect much productivity from them.
Mhm.
That is the problem about division of labor. Do you understand?
Yes.
And sometimes the work becomes so, yes, it becomes like, oh, it is restricted to him, or it's restricted to her. Then you just find out that no, this is not what I really need to do. I need to start thinking about. You become addicted to that aspect. Like you don't see other things. Other things don't become interesting to you again, to the extent that you forget a lot of things because of focusing on one aspect, which might not be good for you, because you will not be able to add more skills. Then over specialization. Over specialization is a problem too, because here they said also has the disadvantage. For example, in Europe, areas such as Wales and the West Country have suffered high level of unemployment since the 1950s, as their traditional heavy industries such as coal mining and steel making declined and was not replaced by enough new service sector jobs. And that problem. So when we talk about over specialization, it simply means you concentrate so much on one aspect of production that you become vulnerable to it. So if the demand for that production that you concentrate on stops, you don't have anything to go back to. That is what over specialization is. Do you get it or not?
Yes.
We continue to produce bags to the extent that the demand for bags reduces. So if the demand for bags reduces, we're not going to sell anymore. That is over specialization. Do you get over specialization there?
So there's more supply than demand.
Yeah, there's more supply. And aside from being more supply than demand, if the demand stops, what else do you want to do? This is what over specialization is about. So making an example, they use the example of Wales that concentrate so much on coal, the mining of coal. But these days we have electronic trains. Nobody use coal anymore. So that industry is dead. That industry is no more in existence, and that is their reliance. So they've over specialized. So they never thought about other aspects, other services that they could render if there's not going to be the demand for coal anymore. So that is over specialization. Is it clear?
Yes.
Any question about specialization and division of labor? Okay.
No.
So we go to sectors of the economy. Are you there? So talk about sectors of the economy. Economies are divided into three main sectors. In the prime sector of the economy, raw materials are extracted and food is grown. In the secondary sector, they convert these raw materials into finished goods. And the tertiary sector is the service sector. I think the points are clear there. So most firms, I'm going to the next paragraph there. Most firms tend to operate in just one of these sectors, specializing Most firms tend to operate in just one of these sectors, specializing in producing raw materials, manufactured goods, or services. Some very large firms, such as BP, British Petroleum, operate across all three sectors, from the extraction of oil to its refining, purifying it, and sales to the public through petrol stations. So, the three sectors of the economy are the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary. Like we said, the primary deals with the extraction of raw materials. The secondary converts these raw materials, and the tertiary sector sell services to this sector. So making an example, most of the firms, most of businesses in the economy, they focus on one aspect of the sector.
Which is tertiary, mostly.
Yeah, no, tertiary, we're talking about tertiary, then we're talking about developed economy. You get it? So, but the example here using, there are different countries or companies that they involve themselves in all the sectors of the economy. Example is the British Petroleum. So they extract oil, they purify it. They extract oil, that's oil exploration, which is in the primary sector. They purify it, that is converting it into usable one. That is the secondary sector. Then they sell it through the petrol stations, which is the tertiary sector. So they are involved in all the three sectors of the economy. I think it's clear. So economies can also be split into two sectors: the public sector and the private sector. Why do we call it the public sector? We call it the public sector because this is the sector that is controlled and owned by the government, and the funding is through taxpayers, tax taxpayers' money, tax revenue. I think it's clear. Is it clear, please?
Yes.
The aim of the public sector is to provide quality service for the people. Now, the private sector is controlled, owned by individuals, group of individuals, and private firms. Their own aim is to maximize profit. I think it's clear. Any question about public and private sector
No.
and economic sector? Clear.
Economic sector, yes. Clear.
Okay. The business sector,
What's the difference between public and economic sector?
economic sector. These are different economies we have.
Mm-hmm.
The primary, the secondary. We have the business sector.
Mm-hmm.
The business sector is simply talking about who produces what are they producing in each sector. That's it. Like we have in the business sector, we have the private sector, the public sector. The economic sector is different, different things they do in each economy. Like the primary sector, the secondary sector, the tertiary sector.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get it now?
Yes.
The economic sector is each aspect that is being produced. Primary, raw materials; secondary, conversion of raw materials; tertiary.
Sorry.
Yeah, but business sector we have the public business
and-
sector and the private.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Any question about that now?
No.
Move on. So go to markets. Are you there?
Mm-hmm.
Markets play a crucial role in almost all economies today. Markets are where buyers and sellers meet. For economists, markets are not just street markets. Buying and selling can take place online in newspapers and magazines, through mail order or over the telephone in financial deals, or on industrial estates as well as in high street shopping centers. A market is any convenient set of arrangements by which buyers and sellers communicate to exchange goods and services. So it's a market in as much as buyers and sellers are convenient to transact. That is what a market is. Do you get the point? Economist group buyers and sellers together. For instance, there is an international market for oil in which large companies and government buy and sell oil. There are also national markets for oil. Not every company or government involved in the buying and selling of oil in Brazil, say, would be involved in the US or Malaysian oil markets. There are also regional and local markets for oil. In your area, there will be. So these are all stories, but the point is that there are different markets. And inside these markets, they are so large that we could have a sub-market in them. That is the point they're making. So the story is all about having a large market that inside it you can have another market. So that market you have inside the large market is called a sub-market. So the main example of the oil market here. The oil market is large, but inside the oil market we have diesel market, we have petrol market, we have gas market, we have kerosene market. Do you understand? So it's still there are sub-markets in a large market. So that is the point they want us to understand. I think it's clear about market there. Is it clear, please?
Yes.
Go to money and exchange. Are you there?
Mm-hmm.
Money and exchange. When we talk about money, okay, let me just read first. Specialization has enabled people to enjoy a standard of living that would be impossible to achieve through self-sufficiency. We talk about self-sufficiency means you just want to do things on your own. You understand? So specialization, however, requires exchange. Workers can only specialize in refuse collecting, for instance, if they know that they will be able to exchange their services for other goods and services such as food, housing, and transport. So, exchange for most of history has made barter, swapping one good for another. However, barter has many disadvantages and it would be impossible to run a modern, sophisticated economy using barter as a means of medium of exchange. It was the development of money that enabled trade and specialization to transform economies into what we know today. Money is anything that is widely accepted as payment of goods received, services performed, or repayment of past debt. In a modern economy, it ranges from notes and coins to money in bank accounts and deposit in building society accounts. Before money,
There was gold.
there was not gold. Barter. Barter means you exchange goods for goods. So the problem about barter is that we can't it cannot be money because it has different flaws, like double coincidence of wants. When I say double coincidence of wants, it means I need to find someone who has what I need and who needs what I have. Do you get what I just said here?
Someone that wants
That
my
possess
product.
that possess what I need and who must need what I have in exchange.
Mhm.
That's one of the problems of barter. Money solved it.
Mhm.
Another problem about barter is that we cannot measure whatever we give to people. We cannot know the worth because there's no store of value. So this is a pen. We can place a value on this pen like it is $2, but we cannot if there's no money. So whatever I'm exchanging with you, you might be better off, I might be worse off. You might be getting more than what I'm getting. So it cannot be equal. Do you understand? So these are the problems about barter that brings money into its existence. Do you understand? So whatever we do now, we know that whatever we produce, we'll be able to sell because there's money. That takes us to money. So money is anything that is generally accepted
As payment.
as a means of payment or a medium of exchange, but it must be legal. So money is what the law says it is. Do you get it? So we go on to the functions of money. The functions of money. Most people in the world today, if asked, what is money, would reply notes and coins. What is it about notes and coins that make them money? And is there anything else that possesses these same properties? If something is to be money, it must fulfill 4 functions. One, a medium of exchange. And when we talk about a medium of exchange, it means money we must be able to use money to make payments for goods or services. That is medium of exchange. Clear? Do you get that or not?
Yes, yes.
2, a measure of value. Because it is money, it will become money if we are able to use it as a unit of account. Like I just said, we are able to find a value for this pen. It is $2. It's 2 dinars. That's the store of value. Do you get the point here?
Mhm.
The third one, that's the measure of value, sorry. The third one, the store of value. It means we can save money now to spend at a later date.
Mhm.
Those days with barter system, we are unable to do that because every now and then we have to exchange things. Do you get it?
Mhm.
There's nothing you could save for the future. So if you have a pen today, tomorrow you might not have it because you need something else. And for you to get something else, you need to exchange the pen you have for that thing. So we can't save. Do you understand?
Yes.
But these days with money, we can save now to spend at a later date because there's a store of value. Do you understand store of value here?
Yes.
Money can be saved for a very long period of time. Do you get it?
Yes.
The only problem we have when we store money is that inflation makes it to be valueless. So the $100 of today, with inflation, the $100 of today, the goods worth of $100 today might not be enough to buy those goods in the future if inflation comes up. That's the only point about store of value. Do you get it, please?
Yes.
Then a method of deferred payment. Because there's money now, we could choose to buy on credit today and pay tomorrow. But those days we cannot because we need to exchange things. I won't be able to sell for you. I won't be able to exchange to you when you don't have anything to give back in return. Because as soon as I get that in return, I might need to use it to exchange for something else. So we have to exchange every now and then. So there's nobody that wants to exchange with you on credit. There's nothing like credit. But with money, I could buy now because I know the worth of whatever I'm buying and I pay at a later date. So this is what money has done, what money has bring about. So anything we call money must perform these 4 functions: methods of deferred payment, store of value, measure of value, medium of exchange. Is it clear?
Mhm.
Any question about that?
No.
So we go to
What's hyperinflation?
hyperinflation. Inflation that is higher, so high that makes money to become valueless.
Mhm.
I think it's clear.
Mhm.
Any question about that? So go to forms of money. Why? Are you there?
Yes.
In modern economy, there are numbers of assets that can be classified as money. We have cash. When we talk about cash, it means notes and coins. Do you get it, please?
Mhm.
So that is about cash. We use it to buy anything we need to buy. Look at the second paragraph. It said cash is not an ideal form of money in today's world. it is an almost ideal medium of exchange, but inflation affects three of the functions. So cash is a form of money. It is not only cash that is money. There are other forms of money, but cash is one of
Most
them.
used.
What
Most used.
is most used? But the point about cash is that with inflation, it loses value. I think cash is clear.
Mhm.
Money in your current accounts, money you have in the bank, it's also money, because at any point in time you can use it. You can withdraw from it for any transaction or anything you want to do. Silent, please. Did you get that, please? That's the second one, which is money in current accounts. Any question about money in current accounts?
No.
Did you get it, please? Any money you have in your bank accounts, it's money, because it can function as a means of payment. Get it? Then we have near monies. Well, we call it near monies because they are assets that can be easily turned to cash. Did you get it?
Yes.
So how can we turn them to cash? We can turn them to cash using liquidity. So liquidity simply means the ability or the extent to which an asset can be easily turned to cash. So near monies are financial assets or assets that can be easily turned to cash, and we can use them as a medium of exchange. Do you understand near monies? Do you understand near monies, please?
Yes.
Okay. Then we have non-money financial assets. We talk about non-money financial assets. We're talking about assets that can be converted to money, like our shares. They are non-financial. They are non-money financial assets. You can sell them to make money. You can buy to keep money.
Mhm.
Is it clear?
Mhm.
Then money substitutes. When we talk about money substitutes, we are talking about other instruments that can be used in place of money. Other instruments that can be used in place of money. You get that? Like our cash cards, our credit cards, our debit cards, they are also money. Is it clear?
Mhm.
Any question about money?
No.
So we'll go to the role of financial institutions. Are you there? Role of financial markets.
Financial markets, yes.
Yeah. So when we talk about financial markets, we're talking about markets that deals with finance. These are financial institutions. So financial markets have a number of important roles to play in an economy. This includes one, to facilitate saving. So when we talk about financial institute facilitating saving, it means with financial markets, which we have financial institutions like banks, they can help us to save our money that we can spend at a later date. Do you get the point here?
Yes.
Financial markets, examples of financial market. In the financial market, we have financial institutions like banks. So what do banks do? They can save your money for you, you deposit there, and you use it at a later date.
Yes.
That is facilitating saving. Clear? Is it clear, please?
Yes.
To make funds available to businesses and individuals. Financial institutions also they borrow people money. They borrow people money to buy property, to fund children's education. They borrow businesses money to finance investments on capital goods. So you get this in the financial market. The third one, to facilitate the exchange of goods and services. Financial institutions play a vital role in creating payment systems for goods and services. So when you have to make payments, you can make payments online using your debit card. It's through the financial system. So I have my recharge card, I have my debit card, yes, sorry. Even your recharge card, you can get it online.
Mhm.
It's still through
Work.
financial payments. I think it's clear.
Yes.
They also provide forward markets in commodities and currencies. When we talk about forward market, it simply means with financial markets, we can have a value of our good or our service. We can have the value of our goods and services before rendering it. Please get the point here. I know it's
Can you repeat?
complicated. I will explain again. We talk about forward markets when we can have the value of whatever we are supposed to sell in the future now. So a forward market is a market that allows me to get the money of what I am going to sell to you in the future.
Oh, so I pay in advance.
You pay, yeah, like something like that. That is a forward market. Is it clear? Okay. And the last one here, to provide the market for equities. So when we talk about equities, we're talking about capital. So financial markets allow individuals to become owners of businesses and allow owners of businesses to sell their part of equity to people. So through the financial market, that's the stock exchange. A stock exchange is an institute where shares or stocks are being traded. So owners of businesses might sell their shares in exchange for capital. People with money, investors can also, buy more shares to reduce their own capital. Do you understand? So these are the roles of financial market. Any question about
No.
it? So that ends chapter 5. Right?
Yes.
So we have the exam practice.
Yes.
Any question, please?
No.